Welcome back to another video. As y'all know, I am still at this conference this week. Today's the last day, and we're just finishing up on some things now. Just had lunch, and we got to go back in about 30 minutes to an hour. So I thought I'd give you an update real quick. This is a very exciting thing for me because y'all know I have been very, very big on this project, pushing this project a lot, and today was a very huge step that they took. So I'm gonna start this video because I couldn't wait to get up here to get started on it. Didn't want to wait till I got home on Friday. I am going home tomorrow on Thursday, but I don't know what time I'll be leaving here. And by the time I get home, 3-hour plus drive. I don't know what kind of time I would have to get anything done. So I wanted to get this. This was very important news that I had to get out now. So yeah, we're in Lake Charles right now with this Louisiana Emergency Conference. It's been a very good conference. A lot of different things going on that we were able to share some information on, some seminars that we went to, learned a few things, and a lot of networking, which has been a very good thing for us. But hey, that's not what this video is about. I want to get on to this news from Wingbits. So let's get to it. All right, so one of the first things I want to say is make sure, I know I say this in every video, but make sure you're in the Wingbits Discord. Wingbits Discord, along with a lot of these other projects, is where you're going to hear a lot about these things first. In the announcements section is where their big announcements are. Sometimes they just dropped in the general chat. Wingbits did drop, this was 2 days ago, their latest AMA. I would suggest everybody go and answer that because I see some people asking the same questions over and over. You know, some of the obvious questions. How do they think this is going to work when you can also get ADSB stuff for free and different things like that? And a lot of these things are discussed in their AMA videos more than I can simply go over. So you can go check those out in those AMA YouTube videos. I will try to remember to put a link in the description so that y'all can easily get there and see this YouTube video. So the big announcement that y'all all came for, Wingbits has announced that they have their earnings dashboard is now live. What does that mean? That now, even though it's not an official testnet yet, which I don't really understand, I'm not going to lie to y'all, but I guess because it's not an actual paying out on the dashboard maybe, but basically it's showing you now what kind of wings that you will be earning. Wings is the name of their token, and you can see where it says, you know, you can view the wings earned in the last 7 to 30 days. So now when you go down here to your dashboard, I'm going to show you mine in a second, you will be able to see the wings that you have and not before when it showed you data points or whatever it was before. So like I said, like they say, while the amount of data points is helpful to optimize your setup, it doesn't really provide an accurate view on how you're actually earning. We've been having a lot of questions of how we're going to earn and what kind of rewards we're going to get. I've even said before, I have 2 or 3 possible host setups in different states, but it's hard for me to decide how do I want to try to work, you know, host deals with those stations when I don't know what kind of rewards I'm going to be getting. So this hopefully will kind of give me an idea of what kind of rewards I will be getting, even though you don't know the value of those tokens. We will go over the tokenomics a little bit later in the video. But let's keep moving on. So it says in here that they've released a new version of their Whitepaper with updated rewards, formulas, and tokenomics. And a massive thank you to each and every one of y'all for the incredible support, enthusiasm. It's incredible to see their community growing. They're closing in on 2,000 Discord members. I will be honest with you. I was very surprised how big this has become. You know, I was one of the early people in this. You know, mid to late year, I was doing Wingbits, even though I was still in DeFi. And then I had, one or two stations early, when you had to set it up by contacting them and stuff like that. I want to say that was middle of last year. I might have had two stations. And then as I left DFly, I moved all those stations over to Wingbits, but I didn't have to move all of them over because you just need to cover a hex. You didn't need to cover, you need to have multiple stations. You're getting rewarded by how you're covering hexes and stuff. So this is a very big thing that they have now done. So naturally there are a lot of questions still in the Discord going on, even more now than before, and some of them are goofy questions, and I won't even point them out. But yeah, people are already asking, when's testnet, when's mainnet, when's this going to a CEX, what's the price going to be? It's trying to stay positive. Y'all know that I'm trying to make my videos more positive, not as negative. But a simple search, there's a search button right here that you can search different things and find answers to some of those questions, or just strictly by scrolling through like I'm doing now. But catch up on all this stuff, see what they're doing, and we can go into my account now, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like. So you have some people already asking about stations and put multiple stations up and everything like that, but they have reduced this down to a hex 6, I believe it is. So in a hex 6 section, there can only be one station. So, if you live in this hex 6 station right here, you can only have one station inside of this hex 6. You can't put multiple. Once this hex 6 is taken up, which is a pretty wide area, you can, that's the only ones that can handle one station. So you live in this section right here, you have to have another station outside of it, and then that hex will fill up. So that stops and slows down, hopefully, the multiple stations that we've seen with other projects. All right, so here we are on my dashboard. My dashboard is showing how many wings I have received in the last 7 days. So in the last 7 days, I have received 55,701 wing. If you zoom in to these hexes, it will tell you what rank you're getting for each hex. So like you see some, I'm ranked number 4, and I'm getting 99 wings from that hex. You see that this was number 6. I'm getting 47. As you come out to the further out ones, I am getting, let's see if I can get this to work right, 131 wings for this hex. I'm getting 158 wings for this hex, 200 wings for this hex. So apparently, I don't know if I'm the only, well, it says right here, like 90%. So I'm getting 90%. So somebody else, maybe in Florida, might be hitting this hex also. This is 80%, 77%. So that's the percentage that I'm getting. As you come up here, of course, break number 8. So I know there's several stations out of Atlanta in the Georgia area. So they're probably hitting those. You see like how low, even though I am hitting these hexes further out, you can see how low I'm getting those wings, which is right, because if you have other stations in these areas, they should be hitting it. Now, I do find it kind of weird that I am like number 1 up here. I've showed y'all that before in my other videos with 81%. So apparently these stations out here are not reaching southern Arkansas. And the ones out of Texas are not reaching southern Arkansas. So North Louisiana, I'm number 1. But, I have several stations, and I've told you before, a lot of these stations are on either top of buildings that I've worked out host agreements, from previous either Helium installs or stuff like that. So you have, my 2 stations in Baton Rouge. I have one on top of my friend's building over here in Donaldsonville. I've kind of just spread them out. One of these is on a tower that my friend has a tower with that empty antenna that was on top. And God forbid the day that he actually gets a paying customer that needs to use that antenna on his tower, because what they charge for lease, I'm not going to be able to pay. So, but for right now, I am collecting those wings at those amounts. So it also shows you your earnings per antenna. So as you can see, some of my installs are not as good as the others. So you can see how some of these, are doing better than others. It's kind of simple. So at least you know now what kind of wings or what kind of awards that you're going to get. I currently have one of my stations down right now, and it's one of my better stations. So you can see I've taken a hit that quick in some of my results, some of my awards. So what's cool about it is that they do have it set up to where they will email you when a station goes down. So also, again, if I can remember, I'll put a link to it in the description so you don't have to go into the Discord unless you want to. But the Wingbits Whitepaper has been updated. You can see up here where it shows you the new date. It was updated today, actually, the same day we're doing this video. And it goes over what I talked about also is the rewards are using the H3 hex system or the resolution 3 which is pretty big sized hexes, but you're actually installing in resolution 6, and you can only put one station, like I was saying, in each resolution 6. They discuss the rewards again. We know this first part. This is the first part on why Wingbits was created. That you have companies that are trying to use this data, which people are not getting compensated for. Wingbits thinks that they have a better model that can be used by businesses, and we'll see if it works out. What I like about Wingbits, I've told you all before, is there is no more cost to get in. There's no more buying hexes or anything like that. You basically have to buy some of your equipment, and I will go over that quickly at the end of this video, just for those people who might be new to this. But they do have this formula. I've told you all I failed college math, so I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure all this stuff out if I'm getting the exact right formula or not. I'm trusting them to do it. They have computers and formulas to figure that kind of stuff out. But base rewards is basically each resolution 3 hexagon distributes 24 wings proportional between all data providers covering a hexagon. So, but it is capped to a certain point. And I was reading that earlier. But if you're the only person covering that hex, you should be getting more rewards. If there's 7 or 8 stations around you that are all covering that hex, like I showed you in my rewards, in some of those hexes, it'll be significantly lower. There are performance bonus rewards. There's also early participant rewards for people who are getting invested early. And this breaks down all the early participant rewards, 24 base rewards, 120 base rewards for early participant, 24 bonus performance, 20% of 120 early performance or early participant rewards. So that it's all broken down exactly how to do it. Again, I start getting really cross-eyed when I start looking at this. Some of y'all, this is very clear to y'all. God bless y'all. But to me, it's not. One thing also is there will be part of the formula also is a uptime reward formula that is going to be used in the reward formula for your uptime level. For right now, everybody is basically at a 100. But when this gets implemented, kind of like which a lot of projects are doing right now, kind of like a 0 to 100. We've seen that with Sword Chain, how they're doing that also. But there are other projects that are doing this. So this is the tokenomics. There will be a 100 billion supply of tokens. So it's nothing crazy like some of these meme coins with trillions and trillions of coins. It'll be 100 billion. The way it's allocated between miners, ecosystem, capital partners, company and team, 24 and half the company and team, distribution period for over 40 years. But a lot of this stuff that is locked. Investors receive their tokens over 1.5 years. There will be a 6-month lock-in, at which point investors receive 10% of their share. They have a team vesting, which describes how theirs is also has a lock-in period. The distribution schedule between year 1 to 10, 10 to 40, and this is the scale basically that breaks it down. So I know this is getting boring for some people. I don't really want to go through it all and read it all out, but you can go into their white paper and see how all this is explained, because they do have a lot of people asking these questions over and over on the tokenomics. So they have updated this. So one last thing I wanted to go over is people are asking, is this the actual testnet yet? But testnet says should be here in a week or two. There's just a few things that they have to wrap up on. Now the rewards engine's in place. We aim for mainnet after the summer, so we won't get enough time to bash any bugs or anything like that, which is rightly so. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can put it in the suggestions section of the chat. But they said how this is just not testnet yet, so there's no wallet or anything like that. Can't do anything with tokens. This is basically showing you how the rewards are going to function. Some of the questions I still have is for people like me, and there's several other people in here that have been in this since last year, since before that dashboard was even created, showing you how many data points you were getting. Is the effort that we put into this back last year was supposed to be getting saved is our compensation or our rewards all built into that. I am curious about that, but I'm not going to fret over it either. It is what it is. I'm into this project to help them build and for it to be successful. So if it's not all there, be honest with you, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm just happy to see them get progress and happy to see them get started on this. All right, so real quick, just so we can go over it, is I have several videos up on what antennas that need to be used or that I suggest. I've did a lot of testing with antennas, different ones. I know right now I'm at this conference, and some of it is discussing RF and radio systems, and people asking me questions and stuff. So I know a little bit about it. But I will try to put this link in the description below also about what antenna I think that you should I suggest to people. And it's just a basic ADS-B 5.5 antenna from Amazon. I have tested some of the other ones, some of the ones that were $70 and such, and I've tested some of the cheap ones that have been $9. And this is the one that has come out very well. I have videos where I've actually, hit 400, 500 miles on some occasions. Weather, conditions have to be perfect and stuff like that, but it has picked up that kind of range. I'm using this antenna on almost all of my installs. If I'm not using this antenna, I might have a white one that I've tested out or a black one that I show y'all in that video also, where to try to cover up the from HOAs and stuff like that with black gutters and different things. But majority of my installs are using those this is the black antenna right here, as you can see. And you can see this black antenna that's right here. And this is a station with a very, very, very strict HOA, but they wanted to get involved. It's one of my family members. So there's actually a small town airport, and not only that, but also a heliport for a hospital kind of close. And they pick up a decent amount of stuff. It is not like it's above the roof line, but it's an antenna that works fairly well. So I do have some videos up again showing those very much longer ranges, but there are some antennas out there that I do not suggest at all. Like the ones with the wire that's built into the bottom. I don't know if the radar box sells it maybe, or one of them. But the wire is built into the bottom of the antenna. I've tried one. The results were poorer compared to other ones. But if something ever happens to that antenna, if you're trying to tuck it into something, it accidentally gets cut or sliced. Now the whole antenna is ruined. You cannot replace that bottom of that antenna, that feed line on that antenna without ruining the whole antenna. So you do have. So another video that y'all can catch up on. And I guess it's time, I've been trying to get some different ideas for some videos. And this video is 5 months old. However, it discusses purchasing hex, which Wingbits does not do anymore. So maybe that's a good idea for another video, just going over some of the options of what to purchase for Wingbits. Now, some people they're really butthurt over some of the stuff I suggest, and I'm done with arguing with them. I have, this video kind of describes where, the chapter starts equipment reviews and stuff, but this video describes, some of the different things I've tried, but everything we have come back to is this green radar box from AirNav. And what's weird is for how great this product works, the antenna from Radar Box is the one I was telling you about. That is horrible. It's kind of weird that type of things happens. You don't need this radar boost type thing or anything like that. This does have an integrated filter with an amplifier. It's supposed to have ESD protection. I will tell y'all before anybody wants to comment, I've purchased these 18 times. I have had some of these fail. I will tell you also that I have bought the blue one directly from the other site. Can't remember what it is right now. And that's supposed to be very similar to this one. And I've had that one fail. One thing also that we found out when I was trying to do the 400-foot tower install was these are built differently. I always thought they might have been the same on the inside, but they're not. Some of these have where the device, the filter is either before, the amplifier. Some of them have where it's after the amplifier. What we found out with this one is before the amplifier. So it's cleaning the signal first and then only amplifying the good stuff. Where the blue one, we found out that the amplifier is before the filter, so it's boosting everything, including the noise. So I have a blue one on that tower because I ended up purchasing a additional filter, which I needed for, 400 feet up. There's a lot of noise up there. It can receive a lot of things, the good stuff and the bad stuff. This one right here, I found worked good. So the blue one might have a little bit better amplifier in it because that one gave me better results at 400 feet, but it did also need additional filtration. So this is the other one I was telling you about. This is from FlightAware. This is their USB dongle. And I'm gonna tell you, for most installs, you're gonna find that these are very, very much alike. This price had just went up. This price was in the 30s. I want to say it was like $35. So maybe $39.99. I can't really remember. It's been a while since, as y'all can see, as I purchased them. So the thing about this is this one, though, you have to pay tax and shipping on it, where the Amazon one, if you're a Prime member like I am, because my wife buys stuff all the time, I don't have to pay for shipping and stuff like that. This comes in 2 or 3 days, and if something happens to it within 30 days, or I don't know exactly how long the returns are, you can return it. I don't know how long that would last for this thing, but it just says, some people get hung up on brand names and stuff like that and argue. I'm not going to argue. Like I said, for most installs, this one and this one will work similar. Again, I used this one right here at the 400-foot tower because I find the amplification was a little better, but this one does a very, very not as, I don't say horrible, not as good of a job in filtering noise with this one. So on a regular install, I suggest this one still. If you have some kind of crazy install that might have more noise, you're going to need that along with this. This is what I had to go install, so kind of a version of something like this. But I had to put another filter in additional. Now, One thing I will say is I see people talking about and people suggesting that they buy these. If you are already using this on a normal install that's on top of your house, nothing crazy, or this one, these already have filters in it. There's no reason to go spend this. I don't think you're going to get that much better results. And until we know kind of what the compensation is going to be with a side-by-side install running similar items, if one with a little bit less noise helps you out that much more, I don't know. I still see some people suggesting putting these installs inside of a window or inside of a house. I don't understand that at all. To make this project as successful as possible, you're not trying to just hit another miner that's across the street like Helium. You're trying to reach out to an aircraft that are 40,000 miles up, that are 100 miles away. Those antennas have to be outside. And you need to be running some type of filter or, I'm sorry, what are these sticks like this? It has the amplifier in it. It has the filter. And real quick, I do want to cover these. I have, as y'all can see, purchased these in the past. I've had used these on some like ham radio projects and stuff like that, because these will tune anywhere between very low HF frequencies, up to gigahertz frequencies. But because of being so wide band, it's not really the best. It says right here, it can tune from 500 kilohertz to 1.7 gigahertz. So it's accepting all kinds of noise, all kinds of frequencies from all kinds of different places. So if you do use one of these, you have no choice but to put some type of filter on it. But you're also going to need some type of LNA, some kind of amplifier to amplify those frequencies. I mean, those signals coming from aircraft, 150 miles away at 40,000 feet up. So that is something you need to be concerned with. So yes, these will work, because people have asked me that because they've already had them because of some other project, but you will need a little bit of help using either those amplifiers and those filters. So that's just one more thing to think about. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and film the end part now, a little sneak peek behind the scenes thing, but I'm going to add some more videos when I get done. I got to get back to these classes and stuff, but when I get back, I am going to stick some videos in there in the middle about a little bit of just some of the equipment that can be used. So I'm sure y'all saw that. Y'all kind of confused, but just a little sneak peek on how you can cut videos any way you want to. But Wingbits, I'm very excited for this, and I will do another video when it comes up to Testnet so that y'all know what's going on with that. But I like progress, and this is a huge step for this project. There's a lot of people excited in the Discord. So, one more step for them. Testnet's coming. We talked about after the end of the summer. You got mainnet coming, and I am excited. I told y'all, and if y'all catch my Monday videos, we're in a lot of new projects that are still either not on Testnet yet or still on Testnet. And for people like me who, and look, I'm not ashamed to say it, times are tight right now. I have a lot of money out in a lot of projects. And yes, I want to support new projects. And look, I've talked to a lot of people about this. That's why I'm comfortable talking to all y'all in the YouTube world about it. But there's a lot of people who I talk to in Discord and Facebook Messenger and even on X, Twitter messaging and stuff like that, who kind of echo these same things. That's why I'm kind of comfortable talking about it. Is a lot of us have a lot of money, a lot of resources that are out in the these testnet or still beta projects. And at some point, we do want to see a little bit of return for our efforts. And times are tight. I told you all before, I got medical bills coming in for different things going on. Kids are playing sports. It's summertime. I got to feed kids, 17-year-old son through the summer. God help me. But I joke around, but this is all what, to me, crypto's about. And the reason I say all that is because I've told you before, my channel is not about Lambos and buying airplanes and yachts and stuff like that. Mine is to live comfortably with my family so that when my kids do need something, I don't have to worry about looking at my checkbook to worry about, can I afford that today or anything like that. I just want to be able to live comfortable and, give them something to be able to live comfortable, pay for them to go to college, not have to worry about how I'm paying for that. and that kind of stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of y'all who feel that same exact way because y'all have made comments about that, and y'all have also told me that privately. So we're going to do that together. It's a very big thing about this project and about some of the other projects. I want to keep this video strictly about Wingbits, not talk about too many other projects. So we got some big things going on with Wingbits, and I cannot wait to see what the next step is with them. Make sure y'all go catch that AMA video with them, and I'll see y'all on the next video.